What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am winning. I know you're winning as well. So today on the Win with Ryan channel, we are going to be talking about 4 cryptocurrencies and the price analysis, where these things might be going in the future. We're going to talk about BTC, some Bitcoin right behind me. Whoop, whoop. There you go. We're going to be talking about ETH, Ether, and we're going to be talking about XRP. That's the old logo. And of course, we'll be talking about Litecoin as well. So here we go. Let's jump right in. Hey man, what a great week that was last week. I can't tell you how exciting that week was with all the new all-time highs of a bunch of these coins. And now this weekend, a bunch of these coins reaching near all-time highs, which is exciting. I got into a couple of trades today, made a little bit of money on Ether and also made a little bit of money on Litecoin. Litecoin made a great wedge and then busted through, which was a lot of fun to catch that on the way up. So also, if you guys are looking to learn to trade, I've already told you guys this, but you can go to winwithryan.com, join my winner circle, check it out, and you get to, on the other side of the landing page, you're going to see a video that explains to you everything. Like if you could have a way to generate more capital to put into crypto, would that be something that was interesting to you? So if that is, check it out there at winwithryan.com. But today we're going to jump into BTC, Ether, XRP, and Litecoin. Traders are buying every dip and pushing Bitcoin price to new highs on a daily basis, triggering many altcoins to follow suit. Bitcoin BTC rose again to a new all-time high on Friday as bulls continued to buy on every minor dip. As the price reached a new high, Bitcoin's market capitalization soared to $775 billion, taking it past Facebook's market cap, according to the website company's market cap. This means there are only 6 companies in the entire world that currently have greater market caps than that. And then it also went and continued on from there, as we all know. So the pace of the rally seems to have caught several traders off guard. Popular analyst Flib told Cointelegraph that the sustained rise points to accumulation algorithms, and that accumulation algorithms seldom care about the price when their goal is to invest X dollars in Y period of time. The bull market has attracted huge trading activity that has smashed all previous volume records. Along with the spot markets, Bitcoin futures trading volume has also surged, hitting over $97 billion in a 24-hour period of time, according to data from Skew. Traders must keep in mind that when the market reserves or reverses course, there will be a lot of selling to deal with, and that could result in a sharp correction. On the way to new all-time highs, the market did not stop at resistance levels, and during the fall, these same support levels may prove useless. Therefore, traders must follow their money management principles and not be blinded by greed. Let's study the charts of the top. We're going to do 4, and we're going to see what the patterns are looking like for them. BTC, USD. The long tail on Tuesday's candlestick suggests that the bears tried to start a pullback, but the bulls thwarted their attempt and purchased the intraday dip. The trend has been so strong, and there hasn't been a conservative 3-day correction or a consecutive correction since December 12th. Sorry, I just got so excited right there. It's crazy. It's just continued to fly up. So let's take a look at this chart here. So here we have the Bitcoin 1 day, and you can see the parabolic arc, which is the purple line here, and it is still following that parabolic arc right now. You have your moving average here, which is the 50, and then you have the moving average here, which is your 20. Okay, so we are still in the overbought territory, so it's still just rocking along, and it is still just busting out new highs all the time. The vertical rally of the past few days has pushed the relative strength index, RSI, deep into the overbought territory, but that has not lowered the demand from the bulls. The BTC USD pair could next rally to 45,000. And if that resistance is scaled, the uptrend could extend to the $50,000 mark. The psychological level could offer stiff resistance, and that may result in a correction. On the downside, the first support in the 20-day exponential moving average, 30,539, a strong rebound off this support will keep the uptrend intact. Conversely, if the bears sink the price below 20-day EMA, and the decline could deepen with the next support at the 50-day simple moving average near 23,218. All right, so as you guys can see here on TradingView, by the way, if you're into trading or if you're into pricing and stuff like that, no matter what, go to tradingview.com and get yourself a free account. It's the best thing to do. But as you can see, if you remember from last week, we were in this rising wedge here and just kept going. This is on the hourly chart here. And when it got up here, it started doing this crazy weird, basically scaling up and down thing. But once it started to squeeze, right, it started to pinch off. If you drew these trend lines here, it would, it's actually trapping price. So the price went up, it came down, it went up and it came down. And if you drew a trend line here, you notice that it was getting to this really, really tight section, which it still is. So right now we are at a massive decision point. So is it going to run up or is it going to run down? And right now it's just kind of chilling, doing its thing. We don't know yet, but you're going to want to keep an eye on that and see where that goes. In fact, we should probably adjust this line now. So when I draw these lines, by the way, a little trick for you, if you want to get these lines going, it's easier with the line chart rather than the candles, because the candles have those crazy wicks and it's kind of hard to keep track. So what you do is, if you look in the line graph rather than candles, you can actually draw it out. So let's take a look here, and look at that. All those points still line up. So it's actually not busted out of that wedge yet. So there we go. Now up here, we noticed that this one, it got a little altered. So we're going to move that, and you can always adjust it. So we're going to see what happens. Now we'll go ahead and turn the candles back on so you can see what it looks like with candles. And boom. Okay, so now what needs to happen is, if you watch this candle here, this is the 1 hour candle. In fact, let's drop it down to the 5 minutes. When you're looking for an entry point, your lower time frame is what you're going to want to use. So it did break down, which it has before, okay, and it broke down below this line. It's probably going to run back up and test this line. It might test it a couple of times, and then it's gonna, if it doesn't break back through and get back in this little chamber, it's going to end up dropping. So we're gonna see a drop in Bitcoin price potentially. But also, if you look down here on the TDI indicator, we are really, really low. We're down in the 30s. That's on the 5 minute. Let's go look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour will give you a better actual look at it. So we're close to the 45s, also close to those Bollinger Bands. You want it to come down and hit that Bollinger Band and then make a hard spike up. Because if you look and you take a look at these when they go up, so this one came all the way down to the very bottom of this Bollinger Band and then spiked up. That's when you knew, okay, look, we could do a buy. And that's like a very short-term scalp buy if you're trading coins. But that is actually, let's see, we get our measuring stick out here. That was a 6% move, right? So if you were in on that move, that would have been really, really nice. Capture some profit. And you can trade. You don't have to buy and hold. You can also trade winwithryan.com if you want to learn more information about that. All right, let's talk about ETH USD, the Ether. Ether ETH made a long leg doji candlestick on January 7th, indicating this indecision among the bulls and the bears about the next directional move. That uncertainty resolved to downside today, and the bears pulled the price down to 1,063. So if you guys were watching the charts when this happened, it was crazy, because this was actually in it was 1 minute. It just went bam straight down, and it hit this 0.382 line on the Fibonacci, and then it just went right back up, all in that same 5 minute candle when we were watching it. And then it just kind of hung out there for the rest of the hour, and then also for the rest of the day pretty much. So that was the candle that they were talking about there. It did have that big correction, and then it jumped back up and ended up closing the day up there. All right, cool. And then so here we are on the 1 hour chart with Ethereum. Again, same thing as Bitcoin. It was running up that channel. It came and it just started hitting these markers here, moving sideways, but trapping price. And when this one trapped price, you can see here it had this huge bust out. What's a bummer is I was in this trade twice and it stopped me out before it made its run up. So that was kind of a bummer. And because I was already 2 trades down, I just let it run. And sure enough, it ran up nicely. Because look what happened right here. If you look at these 5 minutes intervals, all right, so it came up and it hit this here, came back down and it hit off this moving average here. This is the 13, and then it started doing its upward move. And then I actually went ahead and did a buy here and it dropped down on me and then it stopped me out. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll try it one more time. I got in here and then I put a really tight stop loss because I was thinking that, you know, there's no way it's gonna continue down. It went and just did this wick down on me. And then at that time I was like, all right, I'm just gonna leave it alone. Let's see if it hits. And then it kind of corrects down. And then sure enough, it just went taking off. And then it came and sprinkled right here. And I was like, oh, is it gonna break down? Because it came here. I was waiting for it to come here again and it didn't. So that's but hey, you know what? There's many more trades to come, but I did miss that move. Unfortunately, it would have been a nice move. So let's see what we were talking about here. You know, even just to that one right there, 5%. So basically another 6% move, but that's okay. You know, there's 6% moves all day, every day. You just got to be on the watch there. But you can also see here when they're reaching these sections, right? And if you were looking on this 1 hour, look at this right here. So this, you may be in for a potential sell here. We'll watch this. It did cross on the TDI down, and that was because that candle, or the 1 hour candle, it came down pretty hard, but it did bounce off of that moving average there. The 5 moving average is what we have rocking right there. And it's just kind of mixed signals right now. Let's see what the 5 minute, when these 5 cross over the 13, it gives you a good indication. All right, so it is under it. So, and it did bounce off. Let's see here. Is it gonna run down? Yep, starting to close down. Let's see. Grab my phone real quick to see if this is gonna be a trade, but I don't know. I'm still bullish on this, so I'm probably just gonna sit this one out. As you can see, what I did is I took the back end of this wedge and measured it, and then I just moved it over to here, because these, so if you take this right here from the top of this to the bottom where that's drawn out, it's there, and then you just place it. So we should be running up to a 1450 if this continues upward, which I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe it comes and tests this again, but it looks like it's gonna be bullish and it's gonna keep going up there. So however, the bulls aggressively purchased the dip, resulting in the formation of a long tail on that day's candlestick, which we talked about a little while ago on the daily, with this one here, which it ran all the way down, and then the bulls pushed it back up, and then it's continued up from there as well. So if the bulls can push the price above 1288, ETH USD pair could rally to 1420, and the bears may try to pose a stiff challenge at this level, but if crossed, the momentum could pick up and the pair could rise to $2,000. Conversely, if the price turns down from the current levels and plummets below the 1,063, the pair may drop all the way to the 20 EMA of 886, which would be just dreadful for sure. XRP is the only major cryptocurrency that has not participated in the ongoing bull run. Traders sensed an opportunity and pushed the price above the 20-day EMA, 30 cents on January 7th, but selling near the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level is preventing the price from pushing above 35.8 cents. And this is the chart here on the daily. As you can see here, the candle ran up pretty solid here, and then it was sitting at the 31.32 cent level that day. However, it has gone up, and I'll show you my chart here in a second. So the bears are currently trying to sink the price below the 20-day EMA. This suggests that the sentiment of XRP USD pair remains negative and traders are selling on rallies. The pair could now remain range bound between 0.69 and 38 cents. Contrary to this assumption, if the bulls can push the price above 38 cents, 39 cents really, it will suggest that the downtrend is over, and that may result in a rally to 45 cents. So I want to show you my chart on XRP. All right, so as you can see here on XRP, it did the same exact thing as the other coins. Now they're doing these at different times in the day, but you can see it did this run up here. It came down and it started doing these pinching wedge type things in this pennant. It's called a pennant, right? So when you have a pennant that comes from the bottom up and then it pennants out, that's a bullish pennant. When it comes from the top down and does this, it's a bearish pennant. Right now, bullish pennant, we're expecting it to go up. As you can see here, again, we took the back end of the wedge and we drew the line there, and then we just moved it over to the end of the wedge, and we're looking at it to go to 38.39 cents. All right. So with this wedge, it did actually just a few hours ago break out in the positive direction up, right? And it's also had, if you see here, so this was a lower low, a new higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. We'll see where this one comes out, but that's market structure, and it is playing out nicely here. It broke above and continuing to rise. So we'll see if it can actually continue up all the way up this pole here, and we'll see what happens there. Litecoin LTC formed a doji candlestick on January 7th as well, suggesting profit booking by traders near the stiff overhead resistance of $180. The bears sensed an opportunity to stall the uptrend and attempted to trigger a correction today. So this was earlier in the morning, so before today actually fully happened. As you can see here, the price did run up. This came all the way down to $150, and then it started working its way back up, similar to the other coins. If you'll notice, a lot of the coins perform similarly, just on different times of the day, like a couple of hours later, sometimes a couple of days later, but they perform very similarly. However, the bulls are in no mood to relent, and they aggressively purchased the dip today, as seen in the long tail on the candlestick. If the LTC USD, Litecoin USD pair climbs above the stiff overhead resistance of 180, LTC USD could rally to $200. The RSI remains in the overbought territory, suggesting that the bears may again try to raise a roadblock at 180. If the price turns down from this resistance, the pair could drop to the 20-day EMA of $138. A strong rebound off the 20-day EMA will suggest that the trend remains bullish, but a break below this will increase the possibility of a deeper correction. So let's take a look at my chart on Litecoin. All right, so again, similar here on Litecoin, except for Litecoin has been moving sideways. It did do this little bit of an up run. If you remember my videos a couple of weeks ago, we talked about these lines down here. That's why they're drawn. And as you can see, it's just been continuously moving up, and it did hit this little spot here, and that spot is right at $180. It broke down. It went back up to $180, and then it broke down. And then, but the breakdowns, if you notice, got smaller and smaller and smaller, again, trapping it in this wedge. And when it hit that wedge, from the top to the bottom of that wedge, which is right here, boom, we went ahead and moved it over to here, and it did break out. So let's take a look at a smaller time frame, this 5-minute scale. And you can see what happened on the 5-minute scale. So what happens too, like if you're watching for a retest on the 1 hour, sometimes it won't happen because it already happened on the smaller time frame. Okay, so here's what happened. So I was watching this today. It went and it just basically hit and hit, came back down, it went above. Now the only other thing too you watch are the EMAs, okay? So this one went into a positive run up. I just wasn't ready to buy yet. It was not very convincing down here on the TDI. And then it came down here. It actually came up. So it broke. It did not respect this trend line. Came down, it tested the trend line. Came down and it decided to go above again. Came down, and right here when it tested this trend line, I went ahead and jumped in. And what I did see though is on the 1 minute, you can actually go all the way down to the 1 minute time frame. And when it started running up on the 1 minute time frame, up here at the top, this started to turn down. See this right here? This was indicating, oh no, it's running out of gas, because it got to the top of the Bollinger Band, started dropping, and I went ahead and jumped out. So I got lucky at this one right here, jumped out right at the top, and it's come down. I was trying to see if it was going to hit a fib line, but it never did hit that. So now it's starting to come down. So I got a little run up, which was nice. Let's take a little measurement on that. So we got right here. There. We got a 4% gain. You know, it's nothing major, but a good little scalp for the day. So yeah, not too shabby. So what's really cool is I'm learning all of this. I just started doing this literally 3 months ago, learning the charts, learning how to trade cryptos, learning how to trade foreign exchange currencies, and it's been a blast. So go to winwithryan.com, watch the video on the other side that tells you all about everything we're doing. We have over 56,000 people in our community now, and everyone's helping each other. Everyone comes together on Telegram. We talk with each other and give each other tips and tricks. There's actually professional traders in our group that are giving real literal advice on what to do, when to do it, and everything like that. So it's been a lot of fun. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Talk to you later.